October 1st, 2017. Undead from Cleveland. You're listening to What's Happening in Cleveland with your host, Kevin Baird.
Don Anderson.
And LarryMac, who's coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, which Kevin still refuses to specify. Even though I'm not actually in Cleveland, so I don't even know. Although none of us are. I mean, really.
It's
We're not.
But you know,
really
what's happening in the suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio, just really isn't a catchy title that flows off the lips.
or like what's happening in the area of
Right. No, like what's happening in northeastern Ohio.
Yeah.
It doesn't capture.
Yeah. Brian will not be here because we all went to Cinema Wasteland this weekend.
And he's sleepy.
And yeah, he drank too much. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
He brought weird liquor inside like turpentine cans and passed it around.
Yeah, he had the turpentine can and the cannonball.
Yeah, it's just.
Although the cannonball was quite good. I think I drank about like half of that.
But we have Don and Larry who both survived, and I was not there that long, but I also survived. I was drinking drinks out of my refrigerator from like the last game night, so it was about a year ago.
right. He left him there.
Very nappy, not very good. I ran out of shit to say is what really happened. I had nothing. I talk to you guys all the time, and Cease left, and then I was like, well, I got nothing else to say to anybody else, so I guess I'll just go home.
Right.
Yeah, you kind of ghosted because like I was there talking to you, and then I turned to talk to somebody else, and then like, oh yeah, Kevin went home.
Larry's date though was talking for most everyone else at that point. So you know, just could have just sat there and listened to her.
I'm not saying anything.
A few more hours, but I had to go. I have a dog. I got to take my dog out so he can poop. But we'll catch up with it.
Right.
I have a daughter. I had to come home and take her out so she could poop.
Yeah, maybe make sure she's actually at home
at my house. Yeah.
Not at some underground rave or something in Cuyahoga Falls, which is huge for that. No.
Right.
Where Larry was also.
Probably left Wasteland to go to the underground rave.
When he got there and he saw his daughter,
yeah, I knew it. Yeah. And then
she saw him. She's like, "Dad, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I came to pick you up."
Yeah, that totally becomes my excuse then for being there. I knew this is where you were, so otherwise, no way I would be here.
Okay, so let's catch up with everybody first. Don, you're on the spot. Even though you're standing up, I think you're eating, but it's your turn to tell us how your week went.
Poop. Actually, I'm sitting down, but that's okay.
Oh, it looked like you're standing up.
That's because I got the camera pointing up. I should probably stop touching it. Typical week. Terrible week at work. Because work's dumb. And there's no hours. And,
it's just because they don't like you? They don't want to give you hours? I mean, I can't quite figure out what that... It's just slow? It's Cheesecake Factory.
That's what I'm wondering.
Never really slow.
It's slow. It's slower. You know what I mean? So they cut down on the crew.
But it ain't that
so slow. So they cut down. Right. And I even called the general manager and I said, "Hey, man," I go, "what's going on here?" He's like, "Oh, well, there's not that many shifts." I go, I understand that. But we're talking about me. You know, it's like, I'm not like these other people. You know, all these other people can get less shifts.
You're the second best server in the place.
Right, exactly.
After that one guy you were talking about in your show.
Oh my God, I was all day long. I kept telling everybody, "You're number 6, you're number 8." They're just like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Well, he's number 1, so I must be number 2." They're like, "Why are you number 2?" And I was like, "Well, it's my list." And well, I can't be number 1, so. But yeah, it's all right. See, like, I'm better when it's slower. Like when you don't have as many tables. Like in the summer, it's just crazy busy, and you just make money off a mass of you know, you get so many people coming in that you're just making money anyways. Whereas if I have less people and I can take care of everybody, I will get more money per table. As you know, because I can pay attention and I can do my job. So, and the kitchen works too. But so lately it's just been poop, and I'm working on a plan for something new. And I'm not telling anybody because, especially Kevin Baird, because he always is like, "Well, here's the reality," and he shuts it down from the very beginning.
That is true, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, well, that's why I call you. I'm like, well, I'll call him because he's going to set me straight. You know, like, oh, look at, I just found a unicorn. I'd be like, Kevin, I found a unicorn. I'd be like, no, you didn't.
Well, technically you didn't, because what's happening there is that's just a horse with an extended cerebral.
It's just got a tumor.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But so I got.
So basically, anytime you have a dream and are ready to chase it, you go ahead and turn to Kevin so he can crush you and throw you back into the pits of despair. Is that what I'm hearing?
Basically, I mean, and I don't say that in a bad way. I'm not saying it in a bad way. You know, when Cheesecake Factory sent me a big check, and I was halfway to the bank to go cash it because I was like, well, screw it. They put my name on it. I'm going to go cash this thing. I said, no, call Kevin Baird. Let's see what he says. And I called him, and he immediately said,
do not cash that. They are absolutely going to get their money back.
And I was just like, man, that sucks. So, and I actually, at that point, thought to myself, well, maybe I'll just ignore him this time and just go do it anyway.
Maybe he's wrong now.
Right. But then, no. Which would have been funny if I sent it back and the people in the office were like, well, I guess he just didn't want it. Oh, well, ripped it up. They're like, well, we sent it to him, but he says he didn't want it. But I would have been mad. So, yeah, so that's it. The week, let's see. I picked up Sophie. We did Cinema Wasteland, which was all right. It's getting weaker each time.
You brought
Adam,
that's
okay.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
Friday?
Yes. He showed up last night, too.
Oh, did he?
But
I missed him.
yeah, I called him, and I was like, everybody's here. And he's like, the earliest I can be there is 11:30. And I was like, well, move your ass. Let's go. And then I just proceeded to watch everybody leave before he got there. It's like, well, there goes Oz. Oh, there goes Joe. There goes Mole. There goes Kevin. There goes Don Cease. There goes, you know. And then he showed up, and he's like, where is everybody? I was like, they all left.
Did Melville show up too?
Nope. I never saw him. Maybe he showed up afterwards. But and then I ended up, so I didn't do much there. I ended up standing outside with Adam and Trip for a while. And Trip never knew how much I knew about the young ones. So when we started talking about it, he would say a line, and I would just take off and do the rest of the scene. I'd just be like, I'd be doing all the voices. He's like, oh my God, you're like a young one savant. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, I know a lot about the young ones. So I was like, I know all the lines. I know most of the stuff, you know. And he was like trying to test me. He's like, if I say this, and then I just would follow it right up and be like, da 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 da. He's like, oh my God. So I turned him on to Bad News. I was like, you got to watch Bad News. So I sent him the links for that. So that was, I mean, there was nothing exciting this week. Cleveland, not that I can think of. Adam, I mean, well, nothing legal that I can talk about anyway.
All right.
Pretty much. That's it. Yeah.
Larry, how was your week? Or two?
I'll kill more time later.
Work continues to punch me in the dick.
Literally, I think yesterday you were getting punched. Anyway, maybe not in the dick, but you were taking some abuse from a coworker.
Yes. Trying to think. Last 2 weeks it's been work, trying to survive on ramen noodles and shit because my daughter and I are broke right now because I'm still paying her mother child support while she's living with me, which is awesome. Just got to mention once again that's awesome.
That's cool that you do that.
I know.
It's so awesome that you do that for her.
I know. Because they leave it up to me. And let's see, Wasteland was Wasteland. Went up Friday, hung out for a little bit, and it was like kind of sad and pathetic because I got there like stupid early, like before anybody was there.
Wow.
And since not like before anybody we know is there. And since I didn't have a room, I was kind of hanging out in the lobby waiting for people to show up or get back to me with a room number. And my friend Barbie works the event, but I couldn't hook up with her right away because she was busy. And then when she finally came free and came out in the lobby and saw me there, she came over and we started hanging out and drinking. And she's like, "You looked so sad. Like, just you were like sitting in the corner all alone. I thought you were gonna cry or something." I was like, "I know, nobody's here yet." So yeah, I had like my little bag of booze sitting in one of the little chairs in the lobby, like looking at my phone. Please ring. Please vibrate. Please do something. But then, so then Law was the first one I saw come in. And he was like, "I'm up in 302, but I'm hooking up with my buddy first. So come on up in like 20 minutes. And I was like, "Okay." And then me and Barbie went off and did some stuff, and we're hanging out, drinking in her room. And she's like, "Okay, I gotta get back out onto the floor." And I go up to Law's room, and I'm knocking. Nothing. Totally quiet inside.
Typical Law room moment, really.
And I'm like, "Oh, shit." And I look at my phone because I was going to say something to him. And I see he, like, 2 minutes before that, posted something on Facebook. He's like, "Going out to eat. I'll be back in my room in a little bit, Larry." I was like, "Awesome," because I'm standing at your door looking even more pathetic.
Like, now I gotta turn around.
Right. I gotta go back downstairs. Then I hooked up with like Angie and her friends and did some drinking, and Brian, then maybe I went back to Laws, and the rest of Friday was that, drinking and stuff. And then Saturday went up and more of the same. Drank a completely unreasonable amount of scotch and some just horrid, awful shots of just random things. Like, Law was like, "Here's a shot." I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. Just drink it."
Yeah, just drink it. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's fine. Then actually wound up hanging out with like 3 or 4 people from work. Went across the parking lot over to Canada for a little while, and we were gonna hook up with this other guy we work with. He was splitting a room with 2 other dudes. We get over there. He's already just totally unconscious by like 9 o'clock.
Nice.
Just passed out. Like, we wake him up, we're like, "Hey, Tony, blah, blah." He's like, "Yeah," just fell right back asleep. So I don't know, the wasteland drill. Lots of drinking, the occasional illicit activities. I discovered all sorts of pharmaceuticals that I never knew you could like crush up and snort.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Wait, you don't just swallow those?"
People are resourceful.
I was like, "You don't just swallow?" I just swallow those, but yeah, we'll try this. And for all our friends in law enforcement, that's just totally hyperbole. I'm just making that up.
Right.
That's literary license.
Yeah.
We have fans.
Just because it was going on around you doesn't mean you
We
did
have
it.
fans we need to appeal to, so we need to present a certain kind of aura about us.
We do.
And then you came back.
You had a prescription for all
Yeah.
Say, Brian's on this show, right?
So we came back to watch that Pray for Gay, the erotic adventures of Jesus Christ. It was about as bad as you think. I was like, "Watch this. 5 minutes in, we're going to be like, this is..." I was like, maybe 10. We're going to be like, "This is awful." And we sit there, and it starts off kind of funny. A couple really kind of funny jokes up front. Literally 8 minutes in, I was watching it with my friend Mindy, and she's like, "How long do we have to give this movie?" I was like, "We can totally go back upstairs now." But yeah, it was the usual. Hanging out, drinking.
Right on. Okay. Did I talk about cutting the hole in my ceiling last week? So this week I had the electrician come out, and he's putting in a 220 cable into my garage, so I can hook up a modern charger for my car and my future cars. because the way I figured is I'm gonna have an electric car probably for the rest of my life, like it or not. So the problem is right now the current like 110 charger takes like if the battery's dead, it takes like about 12 hours to charge the whole thing back up, and it's really long because it only gets like 50 miles to the charge, and so the 220 charge will do it in like 3 hours. So gonna have a guy come tomorrow morning because he was just looking at it last week. He's coming tomorrow morning and he's gonna put in a new breaker and then run the line through my crazy basement and then through the wall of my house into the garage.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen. I got an echo coming from one of you guys, man. It's real slight.
Not me, it's from Larry.
I can hear it.
Is it me?
It's all right. It's not.
I got my headphones on.
I believe you. They may be really loud though. Maybe that's what it is. But
As I heard.
I hear it. But it's all right.
Let me turn mine down. See if that helps. I don't hear it.
It's just weird. It's no big deal. It's just freaking me out.
Freaked me out. I went through it. I handled it. You can handle it too.
Yeah, then Wasteland. So then I went there and I talked to Cease, and nothing really exciting going on with him. I guess his oldest daughter is at Kent State now, and
That's crazy.
yeah, and
Not to go to college. She's just out there.
then he's but that dude gets up at 4 a.m. to go to work. So like around 11 o'clock, I was like, dude, you look tired. Just go fucking home. And he did. I thought that was funny. 'Cause,
Yes, sir.
It's not like I was expecting him to actually be like, all right, but he just was like, I'm leaving. He gave those beers away that he had left over, and I was like, well, that was that. And I always talk to like Anderson, but I gave him a crunchy, and we discussed how bad the Inhuman show is that I haven't watched yet, but I did record. And kind of.
I started watching it today.
Does it get better?
No.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard good things. Yeah, and then then Husker shows up with his concert T-shirt tucked into his pants, and I was like, dude, come on with that. He's got a belt with his jeans and his concert T-shirt tucked in.
What, man? What's the matter with the way I'm dressed, man?
He's like, I look like a kid if I have it untucked. I'm like, well, then look like a kid. You look like a 70-year-old man. It's fucking stupid. So then he tells me
He always ends up in the 80s.
that he doesn't have a job, and the job he was waiting for, they just rejected him before they even, he thought he was going to get a job because he used to work there. They let him go, and they're like, oh, well, we'll bring you back. And then when he was waiting for them to bring him back, they were like, yeah, you weren't selected to come back. And he has no money.
You weren't one of the ones.
$0 now. He's like, I got to eat, and I can't work. But then you, suggest things to him about working. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that either. And it's like, all right, well, you will do it eventually, or you will starve to death. I don't know what else to say. But then...
if you don't do it now, you'll be a prostitute later.
And we got on the topic of, well, maybe you should go to school or something. And so we went over to Larry, because Larry is an expert on...
incurring debt?
Yeah, well, going back to school is in the middle of his life to achieve a degree or two. And that kind of was a mistake because, what was her name? Mindy? Larry was with this girl, Mindy, that he works with, and she just shot off like a cannon about why going to college is a huge mistake. And Larry at least was being somewhat sane. He was like, I just racked up a bunch of school debt that I know I'll never pay back because I'll be dead before I ever have to pay it back. Which was logical. Right. And somehow that turned into this weird conversation about how Larry's friend/boss apparently killed Mindy's family. And yeah, apparently killed them all and destroyed her entire life. I'm honestly not quite sure.
Hung their bodies around his office in effigy
And when I mean, to the point, like I am exaggerating, but Larry at one point was just trying to be like, he says nothing but nice things about her, and she was like, "You are a fucking liar." I think she said that about 15 times. And
in a row.
Larry is completely unfazed by it because I think Larry hears this a lot from his women. So it's just, and she's like punching him in the chest, and she's like, "You're a fucking liar, Larry." And people are like looking, and she's like, "I'm only kidding." But I don't know. I don't know if she was. I had to go back and sit down again. I was like, I'm done with this conversation. This is really weird. But I did leave Joe over there, which was fine by me. So you guys got to hang out with Joe then.
He cornered you.
To your earlier point about Joe's thing with working, I do recall because he was saying, like, could I just get a student loan for more than I need for school and use the rest to live on? And I was like, well, I was working a full-time job while I was going to school, and he's like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
He's like, I can't go to school and work at the same time. I was like, no, I literally did that. That's you actually can. I did it myself, and it ain't like I got superpowers. He's like, no, I don't think you understand, because like I'm gonna have to go to school like a lot. I was like, right, as did I. And he's like, so I can't be working 8 hours. I was like, okay, but that's exactly what I was doing. He's like, no.
Yeah, he's
yeah. It's like one of the. So you're
a silky boy.
You're talking about people like what's going on over there. When I went to, I was hanging out with Mindy at this other thing at our friend Susie's birthday party, and I found out later that people were asking Susie, who was that guy that was getting beat up by his girlfriend in the parking lot?
That's hilarious. Yeah.
At one point when I first got there, I was standing outside the lobby hanging out, like Angie was there or something like that, or whatever. Yeah. And Larry came walking up with this group of people. I don't know them. I have no idea who they are. I don't know what's going on. I just got there. But Larry comes walking up. The group stops. He keeps walking and comes up towards me. And I don't know, compared to everybody else, Larry and I, we've never hung out as much as you have with like Brian or Kevin or all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So we don't know each other. We know each other. We don't know
each other might be overstating it a bit.
Right. I'm saying as much as like I've hung out with Kevin and Brian more than I've hung out with you.
Socially, you don't know each other socially.
Yeah. It's not like I see you and think, isn't that Brian and Kevin's friend? Yeah.
Right. It's not like that. Not anymore. Not since last year.
Which one is that? Is that Rom or is that Mole? I can't remember.
Is that Oz? But he comes walking. So he comes walking up. The group stops. He keeps walking over towards us, and he comes up to me, and he looks at me, and I swear to, like I said, I don't know everything. I don't know Larry's every
nuance.
Face. You know what I mean? I don't know what every look like. Brian, I looked at Brian last night. I was like, I know exactly what's going to happen. But last night I'm looking at him and I go, hey man, do you need help? And he's looking at me and he goes, no. And I was like, okay, because I don't know, but you have a look on your face like do you need somebody to run distraction for you? Somebody to like get in between you and them? Do you need somebody to just say, hey Larry, I need you over here? And he's just like, no, everything's cool. And I was like, if you're being held against your will, blink twice. Right. That's what I was looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm like, if there's people bugging you or something, let me know, dude. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he got the message at the time. But I was trying to help him. So.
Well, I appreciate that.
That was nothing. I mean, if you do remember that, I don't know if you remember.
Like I didn't pick up on that subtle message, but I do remember walking up to you and you kind of staring at me, and I was like,
"Why is he staring?"
Yeah, I was like, "Is he drunk? Did he forget who I am? Like, what's that face?"
Yeah, and then I just kind of started. I was trying to whisper. I was like, "Are you all right? Are you okay? Is everything cool?" Tell me where he touched you. Show me on the doll.
Yeah, see, and I thought that was the whole, are you all right, or are you totally about to vomit and pass out in it?
Right. It could have been either one.
Yes.
Which I was getting close to.
It was a good time. To be fair, Larry does hang out with, when I say spirited women. It's always the case. Although I haven't met all. Larry has a posse of coworkers that he hangs out with. I've not met all of them. So maybe some of them are mellow and sublime, but I've not met any of them.
Megan is pretty mellow.
I guess so. Yeah.
Susie.
Well, I like Susie, but she's spirited. Yeah.
Mindy's pretty chill.
Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say, Larry.
Yeah, whatever
I guess
you.
compared to your ex-wife,
Well,
most
yeah.
of these people are.
Yeah, I mean,
very
if
mellow.
nothing else, Mindy didn't murder me in my sleep while I was living in her house. So
Yeah, strangled, dead. At least you're on the show. Okay, so let's do our drinking game.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the Metro News out of Cleveland, and if somebody gets shot, you have to drink. If it happens on the east side of Cleveland, you have to drink. And if Jennifer Cha-Cha announces the incident, you have to drink. Sometimes there's a hat trick. But our first one starts in Akron, Ohio. 2 men were shot. I don't know if that counts as a double drink. I'll leave that up to you. By an Akron police officer early Sunday after they threatened police and nightclub patrons with a firearm. One firearm with 2 men, and they both got shot. That's interesting. The incident happened about 2:20 a.m. Akron police spokesman Lieutenant Rick Edwards said. A large fight started outside Czar nightclub on South Main Street at the intersection with East Exchange Street. Some of the people involved in the fight ran across East Exchange Street but continued threatening people in the crowd, Edwards said. Akron police officers nearby got out of their cruiser and approached the group. An officer opened fire on 2 men who were threatening other patrons and officers with a firearm. Shots were fired back at police. No officers were hurt during the exchange. 2 men, ages 21 and 23, were injured in the shooting. The 21-year-old was taken to Cleveland Clinic Akron General Hospital, and the 23-year-old was taken to Akron City Hospital. I never quite understand why.
Okay.
It's always like, take them to 2 different hospitals. What, are they too busy with the one guy at the one hospital? Never quite understand.
Yeah.
one guy had better insurance.
I guess.
That's always a good one.
Let's get this song. This is
Strongsville, Ohio, Cinema Wasteland.
a good song.
LarryMac was found in the parking lot being beat up by a chick.
Twinsburg, Ohio. A man was found
close.
dead inside a Twinsburg home Sunday morning, police said. Brian Baird. Officers were called about 10:15 a.m. to a home at the corner of Darrell Road and Sherwin Drive. Twinsburg Assistant Chief Bob Gunzwiski said in a news release. They found a 26-year-old man dead with a single stab wound. The victim will be publicly identified once his family is notified. One person has been
Could be a
arrested
1-2.
in connection with the stabbing death, and charges will likely be filed Monday. The suspect will be named once those charges are filed. One stab wound. That's pretty good, because some people get stabbed a lot, and they live.
Could be a 1-tooth vampire. Just saying. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to add more because Brian's not here. I'm sorry.
Cleveland, Ohio. A man running from police fired 1 shot at officers early Sunday. Drink. No one was injured.
Yeah. Except for that wall.
Cleveland police were called at about 7 a.m. to the 3600 block of West 129th Street in the city's Jefferson neighborhood. Department spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said.
Yay!
Drink. When officers arrived, they heard a struggle coming from inside a home. Police went to the back of the house and saw 2 men run out. Cha-Cha said. One man ran and hopped the fence, while the other paused to fire 1 shot at an officer before following his partner. The gunshot did not hit the officer, and he was not injured. Well, usually, if it doesn't hit him, he's not injured. Cha-Cha said.
I know. That would be like the biggest pussy ever. Like, it missed him. He's still like, ah! Ah!
He fired at me. Did he hit you? No,
you
he
never know.
fired at me.
He was shot at, so he could still suffer from post-traumatic stress.
That's true.
And that can be just as debilitating as, something actually wrong with you.
Guns going off are really loud. So
The officers learned that the victim, a 37-year-old man, pulled into his driveway and was approached by two men who wore ski masks and carried guns.
Oh.
The men forced the victim into the house where he was pistol whipped, Cha-Cha said.
yeah.
Police did not say what, if anything, was taken during the robbery. When they ran off, the assailants left behind a vehicle in the victim's driveway. Not a good plan. Police learned but police learned that it was stolen.
Yeah.
Because if it's like your car, let's go out the back. Oh, shit, my car.
It's like them kids at Holiday's house. Never mind.
A 26-year-old man was found dead Saturday at an apartment after a concerned friend kicked down the door, Cleveland police said. I'm not kicking down your guys' door if you don't come to the door. Just want you to know. I'm just going to assume you don't want to hang out, really. I mean,
right.
If you don't...
Doesn't have to be death.
Yeah, it's...
Nice to see the limits you're not willing to go to for me. Hey... We're all supposed to hang out at Larry's. For some reason, he's not answering. Fuck it, I'll drive back home.
Yeah.
I'd try to call first.
I would gladly kick in doors, go ninja through windows, whatever it takes for you guys. Nice to see. I don't rate the same.
Yeah, but I don't want to see what kind of weirdness is going on. Why you don't actually want to answer the door? It flies open. You're covered in bologna.
But I wouldn't do that, for instance, if I was expecting you.
Well, right.
He calls that Tuesday night.
But, if I just came to the door
in the morning and I don't answer, that's one thing.
Just some weird shit.
Larry being naked, covered in bologna, that's called Tuesday night.
Right. Which is why game night is never on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
Tuesday's bologna night on the couch. Everybody knows that about me.
Never go to Larry's
I've
on
always
Tuesday.
been open about it.
Beef bologna.
Well, yeah, obviously. I do
beef
that,
bologna.
that low grade all meat bologna.
Ugh.
Yeah. Michael Williams was found about 7:30 p.m. at an apartment on the 3800 block of West 157th Street, just off Lorraine Avenue in the city's Cam's Corner neighborhood. Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office says he suffered various cuts and scrapes and head trauma. Cleveland Police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said. Drake. Police originally reported that Williams was stabbed to death, yet his final cause of death will be determined by the medical examiner. Oh, what is she going to find that's different then? Is it going to be like, he had lupus, so he died of that. But
he wasn't.
150.
He didn't die. She's like, he didn't die from the stab wounds. He died from the lack of blood.
Right.
Yeah.
Officers were called to the apartment after a concerned friend went to check on Williams after not hearing from the man, quote, for some time, end quote.
See? That would be us, Larry.
A friend eventually kicked down the apartment door and found Williams in the bathroom covered in bologna. No suspects in Williams' death have been identified, and no arrests have been made.
You're like, oh my God, Larry, somebody cover him up.
Here's one that Joe should use in the future. This happens in Paynesville, Ohio.
Oh boy.
A Willoughby Hills man was seriously injured last year in an attack outside Willoughby Brewing Company, filed a lawsuit seeking $3 million in damages from the business. The lawsuit filed Monday in Lake County Common Pleas Court says Matthew Drake suffered a brain injury when a man sucker punched him outside the brewery July 23rd, 2016. The injury
that might be the coolest thing ever. Dude, somewhere there's a guy out there who can put on his Facebook, I punched that motherfucker in the brain.
Yeah. And I'm not even Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
The injury left Drake with a permanent loss of his senses of smell and taste, the lawsuit says. It's very odd. Derek J. Horton, 25, is serving 4 years in prison for assaulting Drake, court records show. Horton is not named in the civil lawsuit. Willoughby Brewing Company managing owner Jeremy Van Horn said he was caught off guard by the lawsuit. Van Horn said he's known Drake for years and that he helped raise money for Drake's medical expenses after the assault. I was completely thrown back, Van Horn said. It was like someone yanked the carpet out from under my feet. The assault took place, it's like nothing like that at all. The assault took place roughly 20 minutes after the bar closed, according to police report. Van Horn said it happened in a community parking lot shared by more than a dozen businesses. Yeah, I don't know how the brewery is actually at fault here. It's closed. It's 20 minutes later. It's in a public parking lot. What? I'd like to know the evidence that they're going to put together here to say that the brewery was at fault. Oh, here's what it says. The lawsuit says the brewery failed to provide security outside its main entrance, where the fight took place, Van Horn said. The brewery hired a Willoughby police officer as a security detail that night, but the officer left before the attack took place. Yeah, probably because it was closed. It's just so stupid.
Right?
Van Horn also said Horton and several other people were refused entry into the brewery earlier that night, and that Horton was never inside. Even better. Wasn't even in there.
Never heard of who.
Let's get rid of that one. Let's see. At 4:20 p.m. September 26, police were called to a classic car show taking place behind Villa Toscano, 6200 Enterprise Parkway, where an assault had taken place. At the show, an argument took place when a man, 57, was told by an attendant to park his classic car in an area the driver did not like. The attendant, a Macedonia man, 56, punched the driver, who was sitting in his car, in the face. Police charged the Macedonia man with assault. He was also charged with carrying a concealed weapon as he had a permit to carry a gun, but did not notify officers that he had a weapon on his person.
He's probably like, hey, buddy, where do I park my car? The guy's like, park it up your ass.
Yeah. Punch the
He's
guy
like, wait,
in the
what?
face. Car
I'm
show.
not taking that.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Probably.
A suspected Heartless Felons gang member is accused of threatening a man stabbed by a fellow gang member to keep him from testifying against an associate, according to police.
Oh.
Terrence Spears, 30, is charged with intimidating a crime victim, a third-degree felony. Spears is not in police custody, and a warrant was issued Wednesday for his arrest. The incident happened about 10 a.m. Saturday at the Family Dollar on Superior Avenue near East 75th. Drink, according to police reports.
Weird, huh?
Wait, that's
Weird how a
actually
lot
a
of things-
crime? Like, that's a thing?
Threatening someone?
Wait, I think I missed a keyword there.
Accused of
Yeah, you
threatening
did.
a man stabbed by a fellow gang member to keep him from testifying against an associate.
No, what was he charged with?
Terrence Spears, 30, is charged with intimidating a crime victim,
Okay, my bad.
a third-degree felony.
Okay, my bad.
40-year-old victim in the August 8th stabbing walked into the store and saw Spears, who was also shopping, according to police reports. It's like, what's up, dude? Hey, what's going on? You buying that thing there for $1? Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but it's kind of outside my price range.
It's mine!
Yeah. Spears leaned over and told the man, if I was you, I wouldn't go to court, according to court records.
Keep it up.
Spears waited for the man outside in the parking lot and reached toward his waistband as if he had a gun in another attempt to threaten the man, court records say. The 40-year-old man told police he does not know Spears, but that he recognized him as a member of the Heartless Felons. The man was stabbed on August 8th at the intersection East 81st Street, and Huff Avenue. Good old Huff. According to court records. Suspected Heartless felon Samuel
That's
McCrimmon.
a double whammy.
Yeah. Anybody ever mentions Huff, that's like the place to get killed.
Out of
42,
you.
Stabbed a man in the left arm, according to court records. McCrimmon got into an argument with someone earlier in the night, according to police reports. The 40-year-old man was walking home with the man McCrimmon argued with when he pulled up in a car, jumped out, and stabbed him in the arm, according to police. Man fell to the ground. The criminal rummaged through the man's pockets and stole $100, according to court records.
Stealing
McCrimmon
from
pleaded not guilty to aggravated robbery and felonious assault.
Yeah, for all the non-Cleveland people, Huff is like our Watts, where we had like the riots in the '60s and
Right.
and it really hasn't recovered yet.
Right.
Like they had like the National Guard in there tearing shit up, and everyone was either like, "I'm getting the hell out of here," or you know what, this whole post-apocalyptic wasteland thing works for us. So,
Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland man is accused of grabbing a woman by the neck outside a downtown Cleveland bar, pulling her into nearby bushes, and trying to rape her.
Oh, wow.
Joseph
I can
Fatica,
understand.
51, is charged with kidnapping, a first-degree felony. He is being held in the Cleveland City Jail on a $75,000 bond.
see, like, okay, I understand the statute. I don't think grabbing someone and dragging them into a bush should be considered kidnapping.
I don't know. What if the bush was very far away? Like,
Yeah. I mean, if he takes you and puts you in a bush in his backyard after driving you there in a big white panel van, okay.
the incident happened about 9:30 p.m. Sunday outside Becky's Bar on East 18th Drink
I know where that's at. I performed comedy there once.
and Chester Avenue.
Yeah, right by the college.
Used to work on Chester. Both were drinking in the bar that night. Police dispatch records say. Fatica waited outside the bar for the 55-year-old woman to leave, the records say. Fatica grabbed the woman by the neck, pushed her into a group of bushes near the bar. I'm amazed there's bushes over there.
And laughed at her.
And told her he was going to rape her, according to court records. I'm going to rape you.
Right.
He started to rip the woman's pants off, but she screamed for help. Police dispatch records say. Fatica was still outside the bar when police arrived. He was arrested without incident. Bar manager Ivy Simpkins said the employees and regular patrons at the bar were shocked. The few times we do call police, it's never been for anything like this, Simpkins said. It's a pretty startling thing to occur here. We try really hard to look out for each other and take care of each other. It was pretty shocking. Fatica has been convicted of several felonies dating to the 1980s. When he was 27, he was caught stealing cash from a safe in a South Russell tavern and fighting with bar employees. He was taken to a hospital for treatment but escaped police custody, stole a truck, and led police on a chase through Cuyahoga and Lake counties before crashing in Willoughby Hills. He hid in a stretch of bushes for 4 hours until he was arrested. Apparently, he's familiar with bushes.
Better than a train.
To between 2 and 6 years in prison in that case. After that, he was convicted of aggravated burglary, drug possession, possessing stolen property, carrying concealed weapons, burglary, vandalism, and escape. There's no such thing as 3 strikes anymore, is there? The more I read these things, the more I just think that doesn't exist. Columbus, Ohio.
Oh boy.
Prosecutors in Franklin County have charged a teen with conspiracy to commit murder, saying he was planning a mass shooting at his high school. That's an optional drink since the shooting didn't happen. It was planned.
I mean, who's never thought of that?
John Leonard Staley III, 17, had mapped out Hilliard Davidson High School, was researching weapons and how to acquire them, and was trying to recruit other students into his plot. I could totally see, like, if you knew me in school, I could totally see me drawing up, like, a plan to, like, kill everybody, but not being serious about it at all. Because that's just
or telling anybody.
Right. Like, I mean, that's just something I would have done just to be, like, as a mental experiment. Like, how would I do it?
Yeah, like what would be the most efficient way?
Right.
Which way am I working my way through the halls? Where are my blinds? Yeah, I get you.
Right. Exactly. I have a little map and everything. I'd tell different people who I would let live. You know, maybe I'd let
so they feel comfortable.
But that guy over there, he's done.
Yeah.
I can totally see myself being in jail as
football team gone.
Trying to explain to my dad that I was just fucking around. God damn
AV crew. I'll keep them.
Now
Keep
you're
the
in
AV
trouble.
crew. Football team's gone.
But my dad would always be like one of those people that just figured that, that I had turned rotten, and whatever they were going to do with me would be just one of those things I would have to go through to learn how to be a man.
Yeah.
They're going to put you in prison now, Kev, for the next 14 years. Can't you get a lawyer or something? I have no money for a lawyer, so you're just going to have to do your 14 years. You shouldn't have drawn that map. Stanley used his school-issued iPad, as well as his own cell phone and computer, to conduct the research.
Probably not the smartest idea.
Yeah.
Another student overheard Staley discussing his plot on a school bus and reported it to authorities, O'Brien said. He was arrested in October of 2016. I don't know why this is on here now. It's just what it says. Staley is scheduled to be arraigned in Franklin County Common Pleas Court next week.
Takes a while sometimes.
Dumb. Middletown, Ohio. A woman has been accused of staging her own abduction in the basement of her home and then posting photos and videos on social media, reports said. That's kind of weird. Like, you're like saying you're missing, but then you're posting pictures of yourself being... I don't know. The claims...
Hey, everybody, check out these pictures of this guy attacking me.
Yeah, the claims of Thelma Williams, 38, of Lemon Township. I've lived here a long time, folks. I've never heard of Lemon Township.
Yeah.
Resulted in her being jailed on a charge of filing a false report, a 5th-degree felony. The Butler County Sheriff's Department tells the Journal News that Williams told investigators that a masked man broke into her home on Wednesday morning. She said the man tied her to a pole in her basement and cut off her clothing. She then told investigators the suspect used her cell phone to take photos and video and then posted it to her Facebook account.
Investigators had a problem with that version of the story and investigated further.
Another person saw the video and photos and called 911, reports say. Investigators quickly found inconsistencies in Williams' story. It appears she took the videos herself. We can actually see her waiting for it to come on so she can get her serious face on, Jones told reporters. Oh, that's great.
She couldn't even clean up the editing on that.
Officials say Williams tied herself up and gagged herself with underwear.
Like, she posted it, and she's got the footage of her, like, walking away from the camera after she set it up to, like, lean against the pole.
Right.
They show her laying up in the corner, like, all wrapped up and stuff, and then she, like, gets up and walks towards the camera so she can shut it off.
Yeah.
She's got scissors and she's cutting her pants. She's like, "What are you doing? Stop." Authorities found a security tape from a local McDonald's that showed Williams in the restaurant at a time when she claimed she was tied up.
Right. This is my favorite police blotter story ever.
Well, she admitted she made it up. Sergeant Lieutenant Ed Tanner tells
She sort of had to at that point.
She said she was going through some personal issues and needed help.
She just needed attention.
Yeah, I was going to say, and what better way to get the help you need?
Right.
I just love the idea that the guy that broke in to attack her was like, "I'm going to post these on your Facebook."
Yeah, so your friends won't help you.
Well, maybe he was thinking, I can't post it on my Facebook feed because, that would be like admitting to it. If I post it on hers, though.
Yeah.
I don't want my friends seeing this.
Yeah.
And finally, Cleveland, Ohio. A man shot, I think it's supposed to say was shot, while driving, crashed his SUV into a house Thursday in the city's east side. Also drink. Shooting happened about 12:45 p.m. on Kingsbury Boulevard near East 102nd Street, police said. Police have not released any additional information on the shooting. Several bullets ripped through the man's SUV and shattered windows. The driver lost control of the car, drove up the side yard, and crashed into a home at the intersection. A basement window shattered. No one was inside the home at the time of the crash. Because it was the east side. People know better than to sleep there. Officers blocked off the intersection and scoured the area looking for bullets that may have missed the SUV. They interviewed neighbors and were looking for anyone with home security cameras that may have caught any part of the shooting. It's the third shooting in a 2-mile radius late Wednesday and early Thursday. It's not known if any of the shootings are connected. Well, that doesn't sound good. 2-mile radius, 3 shootings in the same evening. And they're like, well, no idea if they're the same people.
Yeah.
Just 3 different people just shooting in the direction.
We think there might be a connection, but, we can't say.
There's a lot of shootings here.
We got a lot of guns over there.
Timothy Wills, 30, was shot to death about 11:40 p.m. Wednesday as he sat in his idling car in the 3000 block of Woodhill Road. That's an extra drink. And an 18-year-old boy, about 10 a.m. Thursday, was shot in the leg on East 93rd and Miles. That's 2 drinks. 2 drinks bonus. No arrests have been made in any of the shootings. So that's your warm and happy Cleveland news this week.
All right.
The Cleveland Metro News.
So when are we going to get some more of our listeners to come visit us and hang out?
I don't understand why they don't show up more often.
Yeah. Like, I would think this would have become like an annual pilgrimage for all the fans of VGN to just come out. We'll all head over to like the east side, hang out at some bars.
Didn't the mayor just get reelected too? Like, it makes no sense.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, we've clearly given up.
I mean, like, nobody cares at this point. Just let the shootings happen as long as you guys get the Cavs arena thing to be bigger or whatever.
No, we're not doing that now, by the way. So,
they're going ahead with it. I know.
Even though Dan Gilbert pulled out.
Well, what happened is that he pulled out because they were going to pass that thing. And then once he pulled out, then they decided that they weren't going to pass.
That was probably a bad idea.
Yeah. Because then they kind of realized that it wasn't going to use any tax dollars or something.
Oh.
And so now they're going ahead with it. So that's actually going to happen. We're talking about the fact that our sports complex for baseball and basketball, which is it still called Gateway? Or is it?
No.
Yeah, I don't think anybody under the age of 40 calls it that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I don't, because they keep just Progressive Field and I don't even know.
Progressive Field and the Q.
And the Quicken Loans Arena.
Quicken Loans Arena. But the whole facility, I thought, was still called Gateway. But
is it maybe?
I don't know. Anyway,
the Gateway.
It's old, I guess. It's not really that old, but it's old in the world of sports. So they're going to do some things to it to make it more better, I guess. They say things like, we're going to add restaurants and shit, but I don't know. There's like plenty of restaurants around that area, so I don't know what exactly that means. But okay. How much food can anybody eat, man? So many places down there to eat now. It's like, goddamn. But whatever.
Apparently it is still the Gateway Sports and Entertainment Complex.
Yeah. And now I can understand over by the stadium where the Browns play. Well, I don't know why anybody would go there to watch the Browns play. But I understand why they want to build up that area so there's food and stuff because
there's literally nothing there.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
You park your car, walk 5 miles to the stadium, and there's nothing.
Right. It's a complete island by itself. Yeah. So listen, I didn't really watch much of the Browns game today, but it was kind of on in the background, and I think some people are going to get fired. What do you guys think? I mean, I think we're at the point now. It's just
you would think.
It's
play calling's atrocious.
I can't
the kid can't play ball.
I can't hear how this kid Kaiser is going to be the franchise quarterback, and he's just young and he needs the reps.
Right.
And all of this other shit when we're just getting fucking annihilated in every game.
I was watching it, and at the end of the first half, I'm like I've commented before on Facebook and stuff about how our coach doesn't understand how timeouts work at all. And at the end of the first half, I'm like, I posted something. I was like, I literally do not understand what he is doing with the clock right now because he let a bunch of time run off. Then he called timeout with 7 seconds left. Even though we're down 21-0, there's like 3 seconds left now. What are you doing? And then after that play, he calls another timeout. And it, like, then even the announcers were like, I'm not really sure what he's thinking here. Maybe he wants to get a couple more reps for these guys before the half, because it made no kind of sense.
No, I mean,
And like every single game, like I'm not going to hold up my own football knowledge, although I think I know what I'm talking about. But I will defer to the talking heads on TV, because every game is like a guy who actually played the game for a living and a guy who's actually commented on the game for a living for years. Every single game, they make some kind of comment about our retarded defensive setup where we put all our safeties and have them line up in the fucking parking lot.
30 yards off the line.
So that like they can keep the play in front of them. And then Jabril Peppers, who has been a complete bust, he's got the play in front of him and he'll run over and you can see him wait for the guy to make the catch so he can tackle him. And like today, like there was one giant 60-some yard touchdown, and 3 different times the commentator was like, okay, now, and they put the play up there and he draws on the telestrator. See this big giant area here? See, that can't happen. 3 different times he's like, that cannot happen in a game.
Can't have this.
Can't do that.
And I think our quarterback has thrown like a ridiculous number of like red zone interceptions. We like picked up some sort of a fumble, and this is the part I saw today. And then like it was like the first play, I think, of us having the ball, and our quarterback just threw an interception like on the first play. And I was like, I'm not watching the rest of this game. I'm gonna go clean my garage and shit because I got people coming. Like,
they're like first snap, they fumble, we recover it at their 30. We run 3 plays that lose us some yardage, and we miss a field goal.
Yeah. And then you got, and the thing is you got guys like Kenny Britt who are out there who can't catch a ball, and then they finally do catch a ball, and you're like, hey, way to go, Kenny. And he doesn't celebrate. He didn't make a big deal out of it. He was like, he just caught the ball. He was probably like, thank God I fucking cut it.
Yeah, finally earning some of that $18 million we're giving you.
And then turned around and let it bounce off his chest into the other guy's hands.
Yeah,
like, way to go, Kenny.
Very next time they throw it to him, it ricochets off of his chest. And that one was intercepted at like the 2-yard line.
Yeah, there you go.
And they keep talking about as a young kid, and the Browns think they have their potential franchise quarterback. Here's the only stat that I picked up on in the game today about DeShone Kizer. He's currently leading the league in interceptions.
I think he is. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's terrible, and more terrible than anybody we've had.
And then they're like. What? Like the one play is, I think it was the Hollywood Higgins tried to make this crazy diving grab, couldn't come up with it, and even the commentators are like, well, even going back to his college days, one of the knocks on him was his inaccuracy with his passes. It's like, well, should maybe someone have picked up on that? Like who are we going to draft? Well, this guy, he's not particularly accurate when he throws the ball. How about it? Perfect. That's the guy for us. And if he can make really shitty decisions and throw the ball into triple coverage, and this is the 4th time in 4 games they have commented on, the Browns' offensive line has been taking a lot of heat, but as an NFL quarterback, you cannot stand there and hold the ball that long.
Right.
It's bad. I mean, I've been watching a lot, but this is like more bad than I've seen in a very long time.
It's all just bad.
I said it.
It's not good at all. I mean,
they can't run the ball. They're supposed to have like a better offensive line, but they can't run the ball. And then you got this kid who can't even throw a ball because he's throwing it at everybody's feet. He's throwing it behind him. I mean, all of his interceptions. Okay, I would say. I mean, he's got like what 8 or 9 or something like that.
Yeah,
5 of those.
Yeah, they're tips.
Are because of the players. Because of tips. But so it's like he shouldn't have that many. I mean, he does, so you can't say anything. But if he wasn't, Cody Kessler is a better short yard passer, so use him.
I mean, for sure, if we had better receivers, things would be better.
Oh, yeah.
But then it is now. But it's still like there's still like huge mistakes going on.
But he drafted 5 receivers last year. None of them are any good.
Coleman's good. He's just hurt constantly.
Is he though? Because we don't really know. He hasn't never played.
On those rare occasions when he's been on the field, he's been good. But like the other recurring theme I noticed with Kaiser out there is at least once a game. Like we hate our receivers because they can't consistently catch the ball. At least once a game, you'll be watching a game and you will say, and you'll hear the announcer say, "What an amazing catch!" Because every so often, someone will pull some great catch out of their ass. And it's usually either Duke or Njoku, who's like the one guy we drafted this year who hasn't been a complete bust. The one thing I've never heard is what a perfect throw.
Right.
Because as soon as you catch yourself saying what a great what an amazing catch, the on a shitty throw is implicit.
Right. Absolutely.
That's how it works.
All right, well, we got a lot more games this season to suffer through.
We were supposed to win one of the next 3 games, which is there's the past 2, the Colts and the Bengals. We were supposed to win one of those.
Have you seen this team? We're not going to win.
Yeah.
No, I know.
We're not even close to being able
We
to
were supposed to make some sort of statement right here at the beginning of the season because we had the Steelers who, they didn't get their star running back into camp until late, so he's not going to be ready. The Ravens, who weren't sure if Joe Flacco would even be playing. The Colts, who didn't have Andrew Luck. And the Bengals, who got shut out in their first 2 games and are 0-3.
Yeah.
But no, they came out and beat us like Joe Mixon's girlfriend.
Oh, man.
I think somebody's going to get fired.
Relevant topic. The offensive, I would say fight.
And on that note, that's it for the show.
Donnie's out.
Donnie, we lost your audio. We'll be back next week with more. We'll see if Brian joins us next week. And from us here in Cleveland, we'll try and survive one more week. Thanks. Good night.
Late.